Yeah, here we go. Gosh, man, trying to get back at it after SunFest. Tough Monday, not gonna lie.
It is. I hit the snooze like twice this morning. I could not get out of bed. This Monday got me.
Couldn't recoup. It was Friday, 3 hours at Rosalita's.
I sat in my car after Rosalita's and I almost started crying.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, because you're still sore, yeah.
I'm still sore, and I made the bad decision to wear heels because they looked cute with my dress.
Okay,
I couldn't wear flats because the dress didn't go with the heel. Just
bad idea, huh?
such a bad idea. I was physically beat the hell up.
I hear you. Yeah, and then Saturday was SunFest. Great weather. I mean, it's awesome. I had such a great time. It's just, woof.
It takes it out of you,
Oh
being
my
out
gosh,
there in the
yeah.
sun all day and having the cocktails and walking around. It's not what we're used to.
I was out in the sun all day yesterday. I was like, ugh, man. Got up today. I was like, ugh.
You need a weekend.
Gosh, yeah.
That wasn't a weekend.
I could have definitely used just a day to kind of like chill out today. Like just kind of get it back together.
I was pretty pissed today was Monday, and I actually kind of didn't believe it. And I usually wake up really good on time. I kind of slept through and woke up around like 3:45. Like, oh shit, what is going on here?
Yeah. I was just like, oh man. Yeah, I need another day. Might have to take a note on that for next year.
Yeah, SunFest always kicks my ass. I always get a little bit sick after SunFest.
Well,
I
it's
feel
tough.
ill.
I mean, it does. Yeah, it takes a lot out of you. I mean, to be there all day, the sun, and then just kind of being out there. If you are a person that throws cocktails into the mix, good heavens.
Well, that's just it. Not everyone's a lush, but if you are a lush, it's a struggle, man. It's long.
Oh, it is. Well, judging by that table where they were confiscating the booze, there were a lot of lushes trying to get the alcohol in there.
Amen.
That was crazy.
I wonder if my girlfriends got theirs in because they were literally showing it to me at a brunch that we were having right before they were going into SunFest.
Yeah.
And they had those fake sunscreen bottles.
Yeah.
Several of them.
There were a ton of the sunscreen bottles sitting on that table. Like, they weren't falling for it.
I saw that.
That's the problem with the sunscreen bottles now. Like, okay, the ruse is up. We get it. It's supposed to look like sunscreen. It's not.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell.
Yeah, you can totally tell.
Who was the friend that gave the Uber the blowjob? Your friend. You were talking about that earlier during the 6 o'clock hour.
Well, I never said she blew him, but
Yeah, you did.
well, I said third base. But
That's blowjob.
Yeah, we just talked about that about a week ago, trying to sort that out.
Yeah,
She got into the front seat.
I can't say her
No,
name.
will you at least write it down so I know who you're talking about? Come on, bro. I do
All
this.
right.
Like, is it something where she'll go out with the Uber driver now, or is it just a quick, I blew you for a free fare kind of thing?
I think she would actually go out with him. I think she thought he was cute.
Okay.
I gotta know who this is, man. I'm sorry.
Kind of unreal.
Hold on. I've got some guesses.
I mean, how's it go from your driving to all of a sudden?
It's like a movie.
How's it escalate to that point?
What? What? But I thought. Okay, we gotta talk, girl, after the podcast. Oh my god! Wait a minute. Okay.
She blew your mind, huh?
Oh wow! All right, we gotta talk. I mean, I'm surprised, but I am not surprised.
It's good stuff.
Okay.
It's good stuff. It really is.
It is.
It's
ask
just-
the Uber driver.
I don't.
He thought it was great stuff.
He loved it.
But I thought.
He put his number in her phone.
Yeah.
What are you writing? Let me see.
Never mind.
No.
Huh.
No.
Interesting.
That is not happening with her.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
We're all.
Just because I know this person.
Yeah.
I never got a blowjob. That's what it's going on right now.
No.
Somebody.
Not at all.
So it's like you could have gotten a crack at that? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I thought the situation was. No one knows who the fuck we're talking about. Let's move on.
Okay, you're right.
No. Keep writing notes back and forth.
We only had like 30 minutes to do this before.
Yeah.
It just became so real.
It's real, baby.
Yeah, so with all the SunFest and cocktails and blowjobs, it's just a very exhausting weekend.
Did you get a blowjob, Kevin?
No, I didn't give or get, so
Aw.
yeah, it didn't happen for me. So
It's all right.
Uber drivers out there getting it.
I know.
Dude, don't feel so bad. Blowjobs are overrated.
Said no guy
Right.
with a straight face ever.
Unless they're bad, right?
Yeah, you don't want no teeth. That's not even fun.
Have you ever had a biter?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think every guy's probably, if you've ever had one, you've had one that wasn't good, and you're kind of like, you're like,
because
all
after
right, stop.
I could see, because this has happened before. If the penis is too big and you can't open your mouth.
That wasn't the problem with my situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just a lot of
Fit
teeth.
well.
A lot of teeth were involved, and I will say I did not like. I kind of wanted to stop for a second. It's sensitive down there. The skin is very thin, and once you get teeth down there ripping, it's awful.
How do they think that feels good? Or just was she drunk?
I think
Careless.
it was just, careless.
Yep.
That's his life, baby.
Careless.
That's what they call the careless whisper.
Is that what? That's not a bad term. That's the careless whisper,
Careless whisper.
which leads to much screaming. There's no whispering after.
So you got a couple emails on our conversation about Chris Rock on Friday. He was in Rolling Stone magazine. A lot of people talking about this article. We were still talking about it, where he kind of went off talking about how he cheated on his wife 3 different times. The rumor today was that it was with Kerry Washington, who is Olivia Pope on Scandal.
Yeah, I mean, she's a big actress. I guess they did a movie together about a guy that wanted to cheat on his wife, oddly enough.
Yeah. So anyway, and in the interview, one of the things he was talking about was about how Michael Chi had done stand-up, and he just thought it was kind of weird, and he thought that would have played a little bit better to a black audience, and said that when he does his Netflix special, that he was going to, he thought that he would try to wait until he had more of a black venue before he released it, is what he had said. Some of the comments we got about that, John said, hey, I just listened to the After the Show podcast. I heard the Chris Rock talk. I think you guys took it wrong. I think he was saying that for the special, if he had an all-black crowd, that he would get louder laughs that would play well for the special. He's done stand-up for a long time. With his experience, he's probably a good judge at the makeups of crowds and what shows he gets the most and the loudest laughs at. He wants to make the special the best product he thinks he can provide. Y'all are smart people, and I think you would agree that all races get the jokes, but if the jokes are based on a certain culture, then the culture would relate personally to those jokes and give a better response.
No, I know the reasoning of why he's doing it. I still don't, agree with it.
I don't like it because I'm left out.
Well, that's why people feel bad. People don't want to be left out of things.
I like him. I don't want to be left out.
But yeah, I mean, I know why he's doing it. I get the science, behind it.
Let me see. Nicholas sent in an email, and he said, Fridays after the show boiled down white people and their feelings because Chris Rock doesn't think it's appropriate for you to laugh at a joke about N-bombs. I'm dying over here. And Jason telling Chris Rock, a black man, that he feels excluded is solid fucking irony at its best. Bravo, you guys. LOL.
Yeah, but that's so because I'm white, I'm not allowed to have an opinion now about things that I don't agree with. I'm not allowed to express myself when I don't agree with something because I'm white. Is that what they're saying?
Shut up, cracker.
Damn.
No, I don't know. Is he being ironic? Is he being tongue-in-cheek with that comment?
I don't know. You'd have to ask
I'm not
Nicholas on his opinion.
Honestly, the thing that really annoyed me about the Chris Rock thing is, don't race aside. Don't tell me what I'm going to get and what I'm not going to get, or what I'm going to feel uncomfortable with or what I'm not going to. Don't do my thinking for me. It's really why I was annoyed with it. But what do I know?
Somebody said, unbelievable. I have to agree with Jay Bird. Very disappointing that Chris Rock would say such a thing. The After the Show podcast, how can a comedian of any race, color, religion dictate that one, only same or the same race, color, religion could relate to a joke? 2, a joke should only be funny or laughed at by the same race, color, religion, otherwise would be considered racist. If they use the N-word and show a black man laughing, it's okay, but show a white man laughing and it's not tolerated. If a word is offensive, it is offensive across the board, no matter who uses it, in my opinion. 3, being a well-known comedian, the audience knows what they are walking into when they choose to see a show. Like one of you said, funny is funny. I may or may not relate to a joke, but I still think it's funny. Sorry about the long email, but it just drives me up the wall. Coming from a Mexican woman, my father, white, married a Mexican woman. He was disowned by his family. And to this day, at age 45, I've never met my father's side of the family.
Oh, that's terrible.
To Chris Rock, stop perpetuating racism, a loyal KVJ
All
listener.
this time later, they still haven't come together in that family.
I guess not. It's crazy. Yeah.
That is nuts.
I mean, it is true. You know, I've been a racial hopeful person, but yeah, I mean, getting to it, there's just, unfortunately, a lot
Some
of
people
are still
dig their
very racist.
heels in.
Yeah.
Do you see what's going on in New Orleans, where I'm from?
No, what's going on?
Oh, major drama, because most of the people want to take down. There's specifically a few monuments to some people that were, not so favorable when it came to segregation. And there's a statue of Robert E. Lee that they want to take down.
Yep.
And so basically they've bussed in a bunch of people that have like these Confederate flags, and they're like screaming at other people that are on the other side that are like, take these monuments down. They're like, don't you touch these fucking monuments. Like, it's crazy. It's like all out screaming and hollering at each other and marches through the city. It's like insanity.
So do you know the history on Robert E. Lee? I know he's from the historical times, and
I know a little bit about him. Just, what he was and his, I think his initial hesitations on joining the Confederacy, but, kind of did because he's a loyalist to Virginia. He was from the state of Virginia, and so he wanted to be loyalist to his home state. That's where he drug up his loyalties. But he was a high-ranking officer in the U.S. Army before they split. Was kind of his thing. I don't know if he said any comments. I don't know his take, and I'm sure a lot of it has to do with slaves and his opinion on the such. Yeah, and I don't know. I thought I had, I don't know. Did he own slaves? How many? What was his, take on that? What, kind of a slave owner was he? What was his feeling on all those kind of things? I don't know the in-depth on that. It's a tough, situation. I think when you look at it from both sides, a lot of my family is from the South, and there's, a pride in being a Southerner and, having all those kind of things. And, some people are like going, hey, I love the Confederate flag, and I see it as a means of Southern pride. It's not about supporting slavery or segregation or anything like that. It's just a support of, my Southern heritage, and they're very proud of that. But, if you talk to somebody that has ever been intimidated by the stars and bars and that flag and what somebody has done in their past, if they've been, an awful person and were pro-slavery, then you got to see, both sides of it. I think it's a tough argument, but I mean, if I know it's something that's fighting, and that's just one of those things that's going to be a racial divide, especially in the South. And the South is still one of those places where it sounds like, racism still has some solid roots. And there's still a lot of work. And I talked about, I hope in my lifetime, but I mean, it may take a couple more generations before you can get all that out.
Unfortunately, I don't think you're ever going to ever get rid of evil completely. Just with humanity overall.
And the thing that we got to keep in mind too, we look at it here, I think sometimes the way we are in America, we think that racism is totally like a unique thing to the United States.
Yeah.
And it completely is not. I mean, all around the world, no matter where you go, you've got discrimination to different groups of ethnicities and things and that for different reasons.
Sure.
And through the history of mankind, sadly, there has always been that. So for us to ever think we're going to live in a time where there's no racism, it's probably, unfortunately, it's just something that for some reason is embedded into the root of human nature.
It's evil, baby, and you're never going to get completely rid of all evil. I mean, it sucks, and I wish it was not that way.
You're always going to have that. And so on the Southern issue, that's a tough one. That really is a tough one. And unfortunately, for anyone who loves to, spout off their Southern pride and all that, unfortunately, your flag has been used by everything from the Klan to other groups to perpetuate racism and hate and fear. And kind of like the swastika is synonymous with the Nazis, that's another symbol that...
The rebel flag.
Yeah.
It's now touted by people that want to keep the hate alive.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna get so many emails. So many emails. Kevin, you're a dick. Kevin, you're wrong. Virginia, shut the fuck up. Jaybird, you're dumb. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Well, I think the only thing
this might not be the podcast for that person. Then.
Yeah.
If they have all that shit to say, fucking turn it off, bitch.
I see how it's so tough on both sides. And, for me, I think it's always great when we can find a compromise somewhere where everybody feels good in the middle.
Right. And how people can talk and have
Yeah.
conversation. What seems like it's happening, at least in Lee's circle, is just people screaming at each other. And some of those people don't even live in New Orleans. They're just bringing people in to fire up the locals.
Well, I'm one of those people that I always believe in keeping stuff around for the education of things, that we can't forget where we've been, for fear of repeating it. But at the same time, there are places of honor where you put things where you're honoring somebody based on their character or what they've done. And that's where I think sometimes we even need to look back at, our legends and to say, look, were they worthy of this honor? For different reasons. You had the same thing with the statue of Joe Paterno outside of Penn State Stadium that they took down.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, if people are trying to, still do things that like our forefathers did this, and the olden times they did it. It's history. Doesn't things evolve? And is it dangerous to always look back on the beginning of something and hold that to be the absolute gospel? Is that a smart thing to do, or as time goes on, things change? Does things need to evolve? And I'm just talking things like the Constitution. I'm not trying to get controversial, but that was written when 1700s.
Well, evolve the Constitution.
I'm just saying, is that even a possibility?
Well, they make amendments to the Constitution when it needs to be.
Does that happen often?
I don't know how often they've done amendments, but they have. So when they feel like something is, you need to add to it or change the Constitution, they can.
They
with
do
amendments.
that?
Yeah, they do that. Yeah, it will evolve and change.
I guess Lee did have slaves, but he freed his father's slaves later in life, although still debated internally whether slavery was a good thing or a bad thing.
I used to really study the Civil War and knew a little bit more about it, but it's been about 20 years. But yeah, I'd had kind of a feeling that he almost went to the Confederacy with reluctancy, and that, he saw a lot of things the way that the North did, but because of his loyalties and his family and his birthright and all that kind of stuff, he was with the Confederacy. So, I mean, that's something to look at.
And if it makes people so upset, just what do you care? Like, I don't understand. Why do we have to hold on to this statue of Lee if so many people are upset by it? Let's put up somebody who's not so polarizing and celebrate them.
I think we've
got a lot to choose from.
And I think the only other argument that somebody might have, and it's not even just it's not a defense of Lee, it's just a comment about that situation. People get so upset about anything today.
They do.
And if we said anytime someone gets upset, then we take something down, that we have to be careful about setting that precedent where we, completely wash away all of our history because one person didn't like something that person did.
Because someone's going to be called
I hear you.
Because they're going to be called the crybaby and say, get over it. And on the other side, they're going to say, you're being insensitive.
But something as big as owning slaves and then now celebrating this slave owner, it just feels wrong.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you anytime
if you just say it like that, like, why are we celebrating this guy that owned slaves and treated people like property? I don't want to be celebrating that guy. I don't want a statue in my city
I'm completely with you.
to celebrate him. There's a lot of people we could celebrate besides him. Let's go find one of those statues.
Yeah, it's tough to defend. And if you look back, it's probably the ugliest thing, one of the ugliest things in American history. I mean,
But he was probably, a big-time military guy, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was an esteemed, I believe he was from West Point, and he was one of the greatest military minds of his day.
Well, that's why people will hold him, because he had a military talent. He was a great. I mean, it sounds like he brought it when it came to the military. He knew what he was doing, I guess, as far as the strategy goes. Well, that's why they'll hold him up, and revere him, because they think, he was a great military man.
Mm-hmm. And I think there were some things too where the South felt like they were picked on, and I've talked to my family a little bit about it, because they're all Southerners, and I had an interesting conversation with them one time about being from the South and Southern pride and how they felt about it, because I was the only one at the whole reunion. Boy, you want to talk about awkward. I was the only Yankee there, and so I'm having this conversation, with them about it. They were very passionate still about the Civil War. And I said, yeah. I said, but the ugliness of slavery and all that kind of stuff. And they said, that gets brought up a lot. And I said, no one in our family ever agreed with slavery. We didn't like it. In fact, you got to keep in mind that in that time, we didn't have any slaves. Our family, none of them owned slaves. We were poor. They said we didn't have a lot more than some of the slaves that were around. We came from very poor backgrounds, all of us. And so none of us liked slavery. In fact, a lot of us were, very vocal about it. They said only pretty much the rich of the rich, because slaves were not cheap. They would be the elite that had slaves. It's not like every Southerner in the South owned them, 5 to 10 slaves. You were talking about a very small portion of the population that had slaves because you had to have a lot of money. It'd be like, today, your Palm Beachers and stuff like that.
Right.
That have nice big mansions and things like that. And they said, look, it's not something we ever did. But, they felt like we were picked on, and, the North was bullying. And then they were in the path of some awful stuff that happened in the Civil War that made them and the Union soldiers were really, nasty to them and burned down. They torched all their houses and all that kind of stuff and stole all their silverware. And so they're very passionate still about it because of how the North treated them.
And what state did General Lee come from?
General Lee was...
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around. It just, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Y'all are asking me questions about him. What a dick move. He's asking me a question about him. Answer his question. He gives me a snooze.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Don't ask me, motherfucker, if you don't know the answer.
Just kidding. Because I don't know much about this stuff, and I know I'm getting a lot of shit wrong. I'm sure you're going to get emails from me, too. So.
Yeah, so it's a tough debate. Yeah, you talk about what's going on. So, and that's one of the issues they got to try to resolve with it.
I was just kidding, Kev.
No, I hear you. Vanessa sent in an email. She said there's another type of scam that is happening. You guys were talking about some of the scams last week. Last year I was selling a dining set, and I created an ad for that. One of the interested clients sent me a message saying that he wanted to buy the dinner set for his mother, but he was located in Orlando. I was in Delray Beach, so that was the first thing that kind of makes me think this thing is weird. Anyway, I told the guy where I was located, and he insisted that he wanted the dining set. He also said he was coming to town on that weekend so that he could pick it up. And I told him, well, if he wanted to see it first before buying it, he said it was fine. So he also told me to hold it for him. And then basically what had happened was there was a money exchange thing that was going to happen, and he was asking me to give him money, and then he would send me a refund for it.
What?
And I was like, no.
No.
And I found out that this has been happening with other people. So just kind of watch that. If you're going to be buying some stuff like on Craigslist and online, that seems to be one of the things is they send a fake check with a tremendous amount of money, and then they request that you send them back the difference in a money order once you make the deposit.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So be careful of that scam that is going around there. Jamie sent an email, said, hey, I listen to your show every single day, all 4 hours, including the podcast, and I got a question. I spend a majority of my time sitting behind the computer when I am not working, including talking to women for relationships. I've been catfished once already. I have wasted a majority of my life pursuing girls this way, but I am far too shy to approach anyone face-to-face for the first time. I recently started talking to a girl, and things were going really well until she said she doesn't have a smartphone, and this sent a red flag to me. My real question is, who does not have a smartphone these days? There's no way I want my name around a friend or anything associated with this too-bit embarrassing. Thanks for the help. That makes no sense. So anyway.
She doesn't want you to put her name on it because she's embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed.
Is someone not having a smartphone a red flag? I think yes.
But
especially if you're trying to talk to them further.
You think that, but not everyone has a smartphone.
I know, but
they don't.
That's a perfect thing for a catfisher to say when they can't send you a pic.
But you're right. You're right. I could completely agree with you. I think there's a catfisher.
I do too.
Mm-hmm. So
just
don't
say,
buy
look, okay, if you don't have a smartphone, go walk to a place that has a phone, a hotel. Any hotel lobby still has phones. Go in there and call me at this number right now.
I mean, it's so easy to Skype with people nowadays. Everybody and their mother has what he could do is, if he's real, he could go to one of his friends. Or she, I mean, no, I'm saying the guy that's saying she thinks she's getting catfish.
But she's getting catfished by girls.
Huh? I gotta start listening.
She's a lesbian.
Fuck. You might want to send me home. I didn't sleep very well. It's a full moon almost. My birthday. It's not a good recipe, Kevin. Recipe for a breakdown.
No, I mean, if someone won't let you see them and you keep trying, they're catfishing you. That's all there is to it.
But what I was saying was the person that's acting like they're interested, they could easily go up to another person and use their smartphone and send a picture.
Absolutely. There's phones at your work. Mm-hmm. There's phones in restaurants. There's phones in hotels. There's phones all over the place.
Yeah, you can Skype anywhere these days too. You can walk into places. Hey, can I use your computer to Skype?
I hear you. Well, Christy sent this email, said, it's Christy from California. Your Wednesday show is full of poop talk, so I thought I'd send this. My friend posted on Facebook page the other day. Made me think of you guys. Kamaputra, 20 or 52 mind-blowing ways to poop.
Wow.
Instead of Kama Sutra, it's Kamaputra, and the guy's like sitting on the toilet.
Crisscross applesauce. Yeah, on the toilet.
That's the Om.
Yeah, they say there are different positions that make it better. I would fall off a toilet if I tried that.
Denny's got that
squatty potty.
The squatty potty. He says it works wonders. It's supposed to really make pooping easier for you.
Your knees come up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You're still on the potty. You're not like pooping in the yard.
Yeah.
But this thing just puts your knees up higher, so you're more like in a tuck position.
But can't you just lean forward on the toilet? Why do you need to have your feet on a stool?
Because it changes the way the poop comes out of you.
It actually makes it easier to come. If you're suffering from the constipation, it's supposed to help out greatly.
Okay. Let me see. Got this from Dia, New York. Said, hey, this happened near my place. Didn't know it was really a thing, but goat yoga, apparently. And you can do yoga with a little miniature baby goat.
Aww.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
I don't hate it either. I love baby goats, Kevin. They might be my second favorite animal right behind chickens. Baby goats are adorable.
And chickens do not have a penis.
Yeah, we learned that. Chickens just rub their privates, and that's how they get pregnant.
Well, learned a lot.
They just mash, like they just take their privates and like kind of like rub it on it like this.
Kind of rub them together, and then that's all good, huh?
Me and Denny's actually did do a video.
Now, how many does that work for? Like a bunch of eggs, and they spit out a bunch of eggs that become chickens?
I like how you really think I know about all these chicken facts. I don't know. I just read one. I did exactly what you did about Robert E. Lee. I fucking read it on Wikipedia.
Yeah. Roosters have a cloaca. They pee, poo, and mate with it. Wow. You don't see it from the outside body. You can see a lump at their butt, through which is how you can tell if it's a male or a female.
Clucka.
Other than seeing his crown, yeah.
They got a clucka.
That's from Mandy. Yeah,
Wow.
That's how they get it done.
I know we had a chicken lover out there
Thank
that
you.
knows about chickens and shit.
Andy on point.
They say for this goat yoga, the yoga will be designed for beginners, so do not be discouraged, and feel free to take goat selfies.
Aw. Where's this being held?
It's in upstate New York, I believe.
Oh, it's a kind of far drive.
Some dude's farm.
And Jessica said, hope you guys had a great weekend. Kevin, I've been hooked on watching The Flash and The Arrow thanks to you. Any more shows you can recommend?
Oh, tell us, Kevin.
You know what? I'm getting to the point I'm kind of thinking about what I'm going to do show-wise, because I'm on that show, The Americans, I've been watching on FX, and I think I'm about ready to drop it.
Because I sense when it comes to you and your binge watching and you having a relationship and taking the time with the show, it's got to be more drama. You don't strike me as a guy that likes a lot of comedies. Because I was gonna recommend this one called Brockmire. It's getting a lot of buzz around it, but I don't know if you would like it. It might be too goofy for you.
No, I mean I like them, and I think the reason why I do a lot of the dramas, one, it links one to the next, and you kind of know what's going on with it. And, you know, to be honest with you, for a lot of the shows I start because, you know, as people are talking about them, I want to know what they're all about. So that's kind of why I jump onto a lot of the shows. And so dramas kind of have that. Like, for instance, that one show on Veep. Like, I've enjoyed it. I just, for some reason...
It's back, by the way.
Yeah, for some reason. I was only on, like, season 1 or 2, and I haven't, watched a ton of it. I liked it, but...
I loved season 1 through 3. It started going down for me after that.
Really?
Yeah, it gets so over the top.
What are they on now?
They're on season 7,
Oh,
I think.
wow.
6, 5, I don't know.
So you dropped off at 3.
No, I watched all of them because I really do like the show. And there's some episodes that are funny, and there's always funny parts. There's always funny writings. But some of the characters, it's the same thing that happened with The Office. They make the characters who are already kind of quirky and weird, they make them over the top fucking weird to the point where you're like, that's not even a real person.
Right.
It's so goofy and over the top. And I like goofy shit.
So if you're saying something.
Yeah, for sure.
You know it's goofy.
It's too much. It's too goofy.
Yeah, I'm watching right now. I really like Silicon Valley. That show cracks me up.
How's that season? Is that?
It's still pretty. It's still. I mean, it's the same as the other ones. It's still entertaining. It's very character driven.
It is.
But I like them and I find it entertaining. Yeah, it's a good mix. I think the characters make that show. And then I got Bloodline coming up at the end of the month. I'm excited about that. So yeah, the Americans, I might go to the end of the season, but I'm close to jumping off that one. So yeah, I don't really have anything new that I've been watching. I'm really kind of hesitant right now about picking up new shows.
I am too. I got so sucked into Narcos. I don't know if I can do it again.
Yeah, I just don't.
It's a commitment.
It
man.
is a commitment. I just don't want any more commitments.
I don't
now.
either.
Mm-hmm. And she said, I'd like to give a big 21st birthday shout out to our daughter, Kiki. We're so proud of the young woman you become. Kiki! And we plan to get you shit-faced and stoned off your ass to celebrate the big day.
All right.
All right.
So look at this.
Love, Jess and Mom from Allentown, Pennsylvania. There you go. How about that? Coming right out after it.
Yeah.
Do we have one family that lives in Allentown, or do we have a shit ton of listeners that live in Allentown?
Jess is the main one we hear from, I believe, in Allentown. But I don't know. If there's anybody else other than Jess in Allentown, let us know.
Yeah, I think our numbers are really good in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
All righty. That's going to do it for our Monday. Mail at kvjshow.com. You can get whatever you got going on. Bud's Chicken and Seafood, a great place to go grab some lunch today or a little bit of dinner.
As we were speaking on this podcast, Philip from Bud's Chicken and Seafood, he texted me and said, just keeping it updated. Awesome weekend. We had so many people coming up specifically asking for the bird sauce.
Nice.
Yeah, he said it was a huge hit out there and it went really good out there at SunFest. So thank you to Philip, Bud's Chicken and Seafood, being out there.
That was so smart of them to be out there.
So smart of them.
Nailing it. Philip has got the best ideas.
He does.
They need to listen to Philip.
Mm-hmm. Well, go check him out. 7 locations in Palm Beach County. A lot of people saying, yeah, been here my whole life and I never gone. And wow, why did I wait?
I know it looks like a fast food because you drive through. It is not fast food.
No.
It's not.
It's not.
It's legit food.
And some of it is made to order, especially some of the seafood stuff that I order. Like, it's made to order. It's not like it's sitting there.
No, it's not mass-produced bullshit.
No.
It's real stuff.
It's good.
Mm-hmm. All righty, that's going to do it for us. You guys have an amazing day. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.